they're gonna beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, okay, green light me then.
Is that an open invitation, Kanye? Because I would gladly love to come check your specs. I wouldn't have a qualm about beating a defenseless, mindless idiot such as yourself. I would have no qualms.
NANI?! Dynamite! Dynamite!
I don't really know if I should be cheering on this. If this is anything to cheer about. I really don't know. But hey guys, how you doing? My name is Heero. This is the Identity Booth. If you could kindly, hit the like button, hit the share button, whatever you do to make it known that you like content that I create or not create. I tend to notice people who don't really mess with me. They actually engage the most with me. So my haters, that round of applause is for you. Keep up the good work. People be coming in my comment section talking shit like I'm not here to get you to engage. YouTube sees your hate, your love, all the same. Let's talk about the October 6th, today's the 11th, 5 days later, and the ripple effects that is Kanye West. So Kanye West went on Tucker Carlson's show to explain why he wore the White Lives Matter shirt. And spoiler alert, you won't get much of an explanation here. But I just want to digest this whole thing. I know it's going to be probably out of date by the time I get it out, but it's just important that we look at this critically. And we really just dismantle some of the things he says. All the way from these weird conspiracies about like who's in charge of things, the roles that Jewish people play, the birth rate and stuff like that. All of that stuff, we got to be able to denounce it. We got to be able to talk about it. So let's just get into it, shall we?
Why? What does that mean? It just represents life. I'm pro-life.
Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get? And good, amen, I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City.
Right out of a talking point. Right out of a right-wing talking point. I mean, first of all, Kanye West absolutely cares. He's an attention-seeking. He's the definition of attention-seeking narcissism. Wild.
At this point, that 50% of black death in America is abortion.
50% of black death in America is abortion. What kills black people the most in America? I can simply I know it's heart disease. I know it's got to be heart disease. Yeah. CDC tells us health, smoking, obesity, hypertension, health insurance coverage, mortality, leading causes of death, heart disease, cancer, and COVID-19. And that was in 2020, I'm assuming. Unless somehow, some way, fucking COVID-19 killed that many black people, it fast-tracked its way to the top. But last year, that's what killed us the most. It's so weird that I could Google this in less than 5 seconds, and I even misspelled shit. The world is smarter than you, and the sooner we become comfortable with accepting little minute shit like this, idiots like him become less relevant. Like, I Googled that, and this is Fox News, right? Fox News is a multi-billion-dollar company that easily could have pushed back on that, but it's not part of their narrative to change people like him, because he puts blackface on. He's the black face of white supremacy. He's a tool. Like, he doesn't even understand he's a tool right now. He's being used. He doesn't understand that. All Kanye West believes is that he's being admired by white people. And I hear people saying, "Oh, this is mental health." Fuck is mental health. Once you start making money, once you start causing damage, it's just like with Roseanne. She said she took a motherfucking Prozac, and she woke up racist. Prozac had to come out and say, "Hey, look, by the way, when you take our medicine, you don't become racist." You feel me? Clap it. That's not one of the side effects. Diarrhea, constipation, all that shit is legit. You might lose a kidney. That's real. But racism is not part of it. So I stopped having sympathy for him. Because if he's not stopped, he will hurt somebody. Let's go.
So I really don't care about people's response. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet. When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office, and I liked him.
Yes.
And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to, you know, my so-called friends / handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that.
And just so we're clear, Kanye West I've never seen a photograph or any news article with Kanye West with that lanyard on. It's almost as if it's a prop.
I like Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over.
It's
they
heading
said
that
stuff
way.
like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, you know, okay, green light me then.
Is that an open invitation, Kanye? Because I would gladly love to come check your specs. No, I wouldn't have a qualm about beating a defenseless, mindless idiot such as yourself. I would have no qualms. No qualms. I would take all charges, and I would look the jury in the eye and simply say, this is what happens when you don't train your kids to be respectable at a young age. And there's going to be one solitary man on that stand, maybe even a woman, in that jury selection that's going to be like, you goddamn right, not guilty. And I'm going to walk. You can sue me. I don't got no money. That's fine. But open invitation, greenlit, Kanye, this is me acknowledging. I mean, we could even do this on a stage. There's no need for us to be brutal. We might as well get paid for getting your ass whooped, right?
You know, God builds warriors in a different way. I don't know if it's because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that, you know, he made me for such a time like this. It's like with David. You know, he tended to the sheep, but while he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, you thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God.
Wasn't
on our
Goliath
side.
like 5'8"?
And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter T-shirt. Mm-hmm.
He mentions God a lot, and I just want to recall, like, remember when he was on these tours and stuff like this, and he was doing the Kanye West Sunday church brunch thing, and everybody was on his dock. I need those people to speak up. I need y'all to come from the back and start speaking up, right? Because this is your man. You claimed that land. Now we have a situation, right? We have this situation. It's kind of weird. It's kind of sus. Where he's bringing up God. But in the same interview, you're going to see how quickly he goes from saying God's love, saying this, saying that, to condemning. He knows the David quote, but does he know the non-judgmental quotes? And this is why religious people freak me out.
You brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
You know, I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and
How much you want to bet every picture of Jesus in Kanye West's house is white?
just brilliance. You know, like as if you asked like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles.
This
And
is
we are-
truly
we
a
are
sick
in
man.
battle with the media.
Sick man.
Like the majority of the media has
Like-
a godless agenda, and the jokes in that work and this whole like, oh yeah, he's crazy and all these things, they don't work because the media has, you know, they've also watched travesties happen.
Remember, the question was, why did you wear the White Lives Matter shirt? Listen to this rambling idiot go on about Tanya Harding, about fucking, I think David and Goliath was a previous question, and now he's going on to what God prepared him for. It was a feeling. What is the answer to, like, this is a peek into his psyche, which is he has no apparent like social construct of order, of order of operations for assessing situations.
Happen, just even specifically to me, and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening, and they stayed quiet about it.
What have they?
I want to answer the white. I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Harding about the White Lives Matter. You know, my dad is a educated.
Now he's talking about his dad.
Ex-Black Panther, and
Had to put that in there.
A text to me that he said White Lives Matter, ha 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 ha, and I said I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny.
The gleefulness in his face, like a little petulant child. There's nothing funny about White Lives Matter, because people like, where's that article at? This is someone who supports White Lives Matter. We all know Dylan Roof. We'll be talking about him later. Dylan Roof, who killed 9 members of a black church. Supreme Court rejects his appeal from Dylan Roof. Yeah, he'll be getting the death sentence.
And I said, Dad, what do you think it was funny? He said, just a black man stating the obvious. And
that's the dumb part about it. We didn't need a black person to remind of the world that the one race that is predominantly dominated and imperialized and colonized vast majority of the world's lives matter. It's in every aspect. It's so apparent that we try to make it. I think yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day. Like, it's so apparent that it's almost suffocating. We're trying to change it. It's weird. It's not funny.
And, you know, my dad doesn't listen to rap music, and he's like super educated. We opened up a water distribution center in the Dominican Republic together. He's like the original Steve Jobs, but he was getting blocked every which way with all of his ideas, and he didn't have an endless bank account, and he didn't have an Instagram. So all these ideas, he had to like take them back and compress them. Like, my dad is the most brilliant person that I know, and we actually have a strained relationship because I was taken from him, because my mom was an actress, so she was a liberal. And
So by default, if you're an actress, you're already automatically a liberal. This is a spite towards his mother. And look at the demeanor change. He's no longer the gleeful child he used to be when he's talking about white people and getting comfort from white people. He's talking about his mother now. Kanye West is a rich incel. It's kind of weird, but that's the vibe he gives off. Because when women talk about him, it actually sends him into fifth gear. We got comments about him from Lizzo and stuff like that, but just listen to the "I love my father," da da da, the father this, da da da, father that. I didn't do too much research into his father, except for the fact that he was one of the first black photojournalists, and he has a degree. Don't know what the degree is, but apparently he wasn't in the picture for whatever reason, and it's probably an important reason. But just take account to how the tone changed now that we're talking about his mom, and shortly here, his wife. And keep in mind, the question is, why did you wear the White Lives Matter shirt? We're now talking about his dad's brilliance.
My dad would see certain things and say, you know, we should do it this way, we should do it that way. And the people got around my mom and pulled her away, much like, you know, Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something-year-old multi-billionaire with...
That's such a weird insult. Like, it's like watching a young schoolboy on the playground describe his crush. And he's looking at the faces of his friends as he does it. So he'll be like, oh, well, yeah, I like Susie Q, and, you know, she's cool. And their friends be like, ew, cooties. And he's like, yeah, fuck Susie Q. I hope she dies in a pool of her own vomit. In fact, let me go push her into her own sandcastle. Yeah, fuck you, Susie Q. And then when the guy's going, hey, man, you're being mean to Susie. I thought you liked her. Like, yeah, but I don't like her that much. That's the vibe. That's the same energy here. That's the same energy here. That's the child. You wasn't mad about her making billions when you were in debt, living off the teat of the Kardashians. You had nothing ill will to say about her when she was giving birth to your kids. Imagine that. She's that bad, and you let her bury her children. So what's that say about you? Incels can't help but blame women for all their problems. I got a video right now on incels on my page, and it's doing decent. And there's two incels on there now talking about ugly women breed ugly men. Ugly men breed ugly men create ugly women. Ugly men abuse nice women that make more ugly women. You see how easy that is? That's not a hard concept to overthrow. It's mindless that people think that that's like a go-to statement. But look at look at the way he's talking about his mother. Talking about his wife. This is the person you want to take life advice from?
4 black children. And this is how fashion wants to, how they want to present her. So I know you give these questions and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
And shame. Dare I say shame. Hey, welcome to the stream, new person. Clap it up for the new person, everybody. Clap it up for the new person. Hi, I'm new. PlayStation Japan? How did you get that name? That's a cool name to have gotten. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, man. Thanks for joining. We're just talking about Kanye West. If you have any thoughts, put them in the chat. The thing that's annoying here is this dough-face ass this sunburnt Pillsbury Doughboy and this confused ass look on his face. Like, why does he feel the need to encourage this? He's watching basically a person have a psychological breakdown, and he encourages it. And Kanye West breaks character and goes into his real psyche and says, is it almost begging for the approval of this white person again? Is it okay if I go a little off script, Mr. Tucker Carlson? Is it okay if I add a little bit of flair? I know you guys said don't do too much, but can I add a little bit of flair? Oh my goodness, Gray has found me. Clap it. Gray has found me.
So I
We're in trouble.
You get these questions, and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
And I am following it.
All right.
So you said
And now
that
he's
your
back in
father said
character.
when he saw the shirt "White Lives Matter,"
Well,
it's great
welcome,
to see
Gray.
a
Welcome,
black
Gray.
man stating the obvious. So, by which I think you meant that's obviously true.
Yeah, that's my favorite response, because I kept on thinking, like, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do.
Yes, I think that's right.
So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do.
2 hours.
It's the obvious thing.
Yeah.
I've been here for 30 minutes.
Why do you think that's so? And I assume the implication is, of course, all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be considered controversial?
These dumbfounded ass questions.
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black.
Who? Kanye, look at me. Look at me. Focus. Who do you think created the concept of race? Who do you think defined white and black? Who do you think defined white, shades of white? And I said this before, and people looked at me kind of dumbfounded. I said, if there were no people of color on this planet, given our society, white people would figure out ways to divide themselves up. And people are like, no, they wouldn't know it. And I'm like, yeah, tell that to the Italians when they first came over, or the Irish. It's a hierarchy as we know it.
And the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time, if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was black. So by the time he got into college,
this pretty much controls this. He'll continue rambling on here, but there was a sequential part here that I did want to play. This is something that didn't make the final cut of this, and it's talking about, well, let's just go into it.
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK, to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are, the blood of Christ. This, as a Christian, is my belief. And I believe that if we saw ourselves as more...
Yeah. So that's disturbing. That's shocking. Kanye West isn't well, people. Let's just be clear about that. Kanye West is not well. And that was cut from Fox News because his message doesn't really reverberate correctly, if we're being honest here. He's talking about white lives matter while acknowledging the Ku Klux Klan, and his anti-Semitic comments kind of put people in a rage. And I know what you're probably thinking. Heero, Kanye West isn't an impact on what people do.